Today I'm at University of California, Berkeley, and I'm asking the question, what can men do to make the world safer for women?
What a great question. I would say acknowledging history of patriarchy that exists within our structure. Unfortunately, the current heteronormative lifestyle that we all have and operate impacts women in such a way that we normalize certain behavior and reactions. So for example, one thing to reference is women always have to participate when we call the second shift, right? They work all day and they come home and we have this expectation for them to work again. And I think men don't see that or hear that, especially if they don't take a gender sexualities course. Where does that knowledge come from? And I think that men who are exposed to that kind of information and live that kind of lifestyle should be more willing to have those conversations with other men, and hold that accountability to themselves, the way that they make mistakes. And I think holistically, to kind of wrap this up, I think men need to be more open to accepting faults, being vulnerable and emotional, because liberating women also liberate themselves.
The first thing I'm thinking of is in the night when you're walking, I feel men reminding themselves to keep their distance. I don't know what their intentions are, and it's scary at night. And men always keeping their distance when we walk is a good one. I feel safer. That's just what comes to mind.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm thinking today I was at the beach and it was just me and my friend, and same thing. This guy came and sat next to us as if we wanted to sit with him. So it just made us very uncomfortable, and we ended up leaving. So just yes, keeping that distance. We don't know what exactly they're thinking, what's going on in their head. So yeah, just keeping that space, respecting boundaries. That's the main thing.
Oh yeah.
I think the first step is listening. Just listening to women and how they feel on certain issues and different things. And I think responding to that and really being open-minded and trying to see their point of view and their side and understand where they're coming from and where they feel unsafe in situations, so then they know how to act differently.
But there's definitely a lot. I think one of the biggest things is I like to go on runs a lot, and so if I feel there's someone behind me that has been consistently behind me, and if it is a man, I do feel more insecure and worried. So just taking the liberty maybe to take a turn early, even if you don't have to, just make the woman feel safer and more obvious that you're not following her and not trying to do anything. But yeah.
Have more chivalry, that's for one, and really take care of their gaze, I think. Yeah, that's all.
I appreciate that.
Well, I guess this probably applies to women rather than strangers, but a lot of it is also just communicating and asking them how they feel safe or what they feel comfortable with, as far as so you don't push the boundaries too much.
Listen, because I feel a lot of times women feel uncomfortable when they're not heard, and so they feel they don't have a voice and they're not they're powerless in a situation. So just listening and taking that into account when you're interacting with women.
That's a really good question. I think one of the things is just encouraging the other men around you to try to always be thinking about how we can make women feel more comfortable. Yeah.
I guess one thing is if you're walking down the street at night, I know a lot of women feel scared when there's a man walking behind them. So I guess sometimes what I do is I stop on the middle of the street and not follow them, because I know that even actually for anyone it feels kind of creepy if someone's just following right behind you. So
I guess just be polite. That's what I'll say.
I think just being respectful in general of what women are doing is just something that men can do.
They can be very respectful and don't be an asshole.
Be less aggressive and just more be better listeners and more open to listening and talking, understanding, and just being more, just be more open to women and what they want as opposed to what the guy wants.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I mean, at night I don't like when guys walk behind me. I mean, half the time they're not really doing anything, but it makes me feel uncomfortable because I'm not sure. I don't know.
Just treat them like normal human beings, respect on the same level. I think that's a huge issue, and not making them feel uncomfortable, making them feel welcome, and just they're normal human beings. So
I feel unsafe if like someone starts like trying to like not come after me, but like follow me to try to like talk to me or something. That's like when I feel uncomfortable. So just like not do that.
I think a big thing would be calling out other men. Yeah.
I was gonna say something similar, that like use your privilege and your rapport with other men to like challenge each other and not just be passive when you see other men hurting women, either overtly or microaggressions.
I just feel like the connection when you like walk around, like eye contact, smiling, like making yourself seem friendly always makes me feel more comfortable. But I think every woman's different. Like can't speak for everyone, but that's definitely one thing that makes me feel more comfortable is when I like see that they're being like friendly and not creepy.
Makes sense. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I appreciate
no
that.
problem.
Is it okay? Are you open to answering
Yeah,
it?
that's a really good question. I
Cool.
think I need longer to think about it. Though.
Yeah.
That's like there's so many like that. I haven't thought about that question, but I'll definitely think about it. That's a cool question.
Yeah.
They can just take a step back and not have to respond. Like, you know, I feel like not everything needs a man's opinion, but I feel like men always give their opinion on everything.
It's so great to ask this question here at Berkeley, and I'm so happy. Thank God.
Asking women more about like issues that they don't understand. I know a lot of my guy friends will just ask us when they don't really like get a certain, for example with like menstrual cycles, they don't really get that. They kind of just go off like stereotypes that run around. So asking women is like helpful, and then also just being very careful of not like using patronizing words or just like mansplaining. Especially like I'm in engineering, so that's kind of happened a lot where people just assume that like I don't really know what I'm doing because I'm a girl, and it may not be explicit, but you can kind of feel it. And so I think just being conscious that the world is changing and like women are not as like women have a lot more opportunities to like actually explore those types of like male dominated areas.
What can men do to make the world safer for women?
I can give you my view.
Yeah? Okay, well give it a shot and then you go. Okay, go ahead.
I'm a lawyer, so I say litigation. Sue the male bastards, yeah, okay. That's my 2 cents worth. So.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay.
I think it just needs to start with educating young men to view women not as objects to be obtained or taken, but yeah, it starts with parents, and then our education system needs to be oriented towards including more information about consent and more just like education about how to be a decent human being.
I mean, the first thing is educate yourself. I think that men that think that they might know everything, that they know all the answers to what would make women safer, that's not necessarily going to be true. Like, you have to educate yourself. You have to figure out why women feel uncomfortable. So that'd be the biggest thing.
Just like not be like super like pushy and like accept boundaries.
Good answer. What about you?
I would say like just being more like friendly, but like not like overstepping that boundary.
Okay, let's see who else wants to answer my question.
Just be more respectful.
Be more understanding that women need more space to talk and need more time to like be listened to, and that their space holds more power than they realize.
That was good. That was good.
You want to give it a shot?
I think the best thing I can say here is that she's right.
That's facts. That's facts.
I think a lot of men, like especially if your friends are kind of like weird or kind of just like uncomfortable, they just don't say anything. They're just like, oh, like yeah, this guy's just kind of like rapey or something like that, but they'll never speak up against it. And just like speaking up is like the key.
I was not expecting that question. I guess definitely not sexualizing women to begin with, and like treating and viewing women as an object, because I definitely think that like trickles into obviously the workplace, and also like our education system in terms of I guess like student to student dynamic and like professor to student dynamic and things like that.
I think a big thing is like don't come up to us you don't need to come talk to us. Literally yesterday I had a guy on the BART just harassing me for like 10 minutes straight, and even though I told him like get away from me, he wouldn't go away from me. So like we're not asking you to come up to us. You don't need to talk to us. I don't need you to tell me I'm beautiful. I don't care for that sort of thing. So yeah, just like mind your business.
Making the world safer for women starts with standing up for what is right, whether that means one as an individual not treating women differently and treating them as people with respect is important. Also making sure that other people also treat women as people and as people that deserve respect and deserve kindness just like anyone else.
I think it's important to first recognize that women are not feeling safe, so we have to understand first why that might be.
Backing off what he said, if someone isn't being safe, a lot of times they won't voice their concerns and they'll try to avoid it. But if they do, I mean, don't try to make a lot of times women feel better, because that might like be I guess going into their personal space. Just back away and just let it just stop. I've seen a lot of times when I'm walking the streets, just like random people, they'll go up, and then even if they don't feel safe, they'll try to make them feel better. But women, like a lot of times when they're scared, they don't see it as that. They'll see it as like they're trying to do something else. So